Hello Beans, and welcome to Blue Bean Harvest episode 3. I'm recording the sound here for the podcast. Just be mindful on the podcast that I'm going to be talking about the table. I've uploaded a table called the Table of Master Associations, and I've got it on the whiteboard behind me. A part of it anyway, but I've uploaded it to my social pages on Facebook and also onto LinkedIn as well. I've also put it on the roydow.com and changetheworldnow.org websites. It's at the beginning on the first page at the bottom on roydow.com and under the inspirations tab towards the bottom of that page on changetheworldnow.org. Moving on, the table of master associations. I did this because I saw a relevance to us on our path, seeking awareness and fulfillment in this search for resurrection of self, I think. But there again, that's just me. So look, let's just jump straight into this. I'm not going to give masses and masses of opinion on this table because the whole purpose is for you to explore based on some just simple principles. So just be aware of the position. So for people on the podcast, if you've got the download, if you want to stop the podcast and download that on roydow.com or on my Facebook page, it'll be harder to find. The same on LinkedIn. Unless it's close to today, which is the 27th of the 1st, 2022. Anyway, I'm going to go through and talk about the table. So the table has got 8 columns. The column on the left essentially just identifies 3 of the rows. There are 4 rows. The top one identifies the 7 columns. So the 7 columns of note are Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's 1 through 7. Yeah, 7 days of creation. 7 chakras, 7 densities. Yeah, when we think of Revelation, the 7 hills, the 7 mounds of Rome, the 7 this, the 7 that. Everything is numbers and cycles, okay? When we think of down the side in the first column, it says mind, body, spirit. And if you look on your sheet, if you've downloaded it, I haven't put the full detail on here, and I'm going to use a pointer so that I don't keep walking in front of the camera. On the left-hand column, we've got mind, body, and spirit, and they run along the rows. Mind for each day, Monday through Sunday. Body the same underneath, Monday through Sunday, and then underneath spirit, Monday through Sunday, and they're all interrelated. This is a variation on something that is shown in a very basic notion shown in the Law of One, which is a great title of the series. It's something that will really, it's a major catalyst, the Law of One book series, and I can't recommend it highly enough. Now, my interpretation and the addition of all this extra information really begins to focus the mind on the task at hand. And the task is to understand ourselves and balance ourselves. So when we look at the first column, Monday, effectively what we've got is matrix of mind, matrix of body, and matrix of spirit, one through the other. So again, if we look to the first column, mind, body, spirit, we've got Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, because that's right, you, the Holy Trinity, the 3 in 1. Okay, that's us, you. Take that on board, take a breath. Okay, so we've got the mind. The mind is effective. The mind is our awareness, but remember that we have a mind that's hid from itself through the veil of confusion. All right, and this is the first time this has been done in the universe in the sense of creation, because it promotes or accelerates that notion of polarization. And this is what this is all about. This is all about choice, isn't it? This is the yellow ray energy. Interesting yellow ray energy that this is called. This Wednesday, the catalyst here. This is, if we go through the columns from left to right, Monday through Sunday, we've got matrix, potential, catalyst, experience, significator, transformation, and great way. So we've got the matrix of the mind, the potentiator of the mind, the catalyst of the mind, the experience of the mind, significator, transformation, and great way of the mind. Equally, we've got exactly the same for the body. Matrix, potentiator, catalyst, experience, significator, transformation, and great way. And then we've got the spirit. Now, we've got the cards placed out here. You can look at the cards individually. I'm going to come back to that. You can look at the cards as groups. You can look at the card and say, what does that mean to me? You can say, what does it mean to me in the sense of this position? You can check out a tarot book and look at various interpretations, and you'll find that there's definite notions of repetition in the sense of what one might class as positive or negative, or happy or sad, or good or bad, or evil, or whatever you want to call it. But it's always one or the other. And to me, just to throw a core notion, a principle with regards to identification of anything and everything, look for a bias in polarity. Everything has a bias, and everything has both. Yeah. Remember that when we think of the archaic minds here, because we've got all the planets detailed on this sheet as well. It's not just the 22 major arcana from the tarot. It's also minerals, elements in the sense of fire, earth, air and water. So we've got fire and air being masculine, active and enthusiastic. And we've got earth and water being emotional, intuitive, practical, stable, enthusiastic, intellectual, communicative. Sorry, that was air. So anyway, they're on the sheet, read them. And then we've also got in there the archetypes of mind in the sense of the planets, and the notions of character. When we think of someone's character, what are the traits of their character? Behavior. How would you be? What do you believe? Yeah, you are as you are based on your beliefs, aren't you? Yeah, that's how you show yourself. So we've got, I like to look at the elements, because the elements really tell you a lot, okay? And the elements, so for people on the podcast, on the top row, just notice also things to notice. The black to me, the red, Roy, I'm a Roy Dow, right? So red and black. So I've got my male positive spirituality, and I've got my negative female earthbound aspirations, my material growth, creativity. Yeah, all that comes from there. So it's not negative. It's just the other side of the coin, isn't it? Yeah, whichever way you look at it, it's just one or the other, left or right. And in every moment of life, when something comes before us, we have a choice. This is in awareness. This is how you can think of this daily. You go through a day, and from the moment you wake up, you experience all these things. Let's think of a piece of food. You get up in the morning and you have that notion of food. You see something on the TV, or you just have an idea in mind. And I was talking to someone yesterday about this, someone that very generously gives me their time so that I can talk about this stuff, share it, bounce ideas, argue with them, and it's really good. It tests me, it fires me, it fires them. It's really helpful and healthy. And what I did to them, I said, was this: well, if you think, right, experience, if you think fire, creativity, action, right, boof, there's the picture. Think of a hot dog, or a burger, or a veggie burger, or a plate of salad or something. You get this picture, okay? And let's use this sheet. So we've got the fire. Where else does fire go? Well, fire comes over to the matrix of the body. So as we think, yeah, we're affecting our body, aren't we? Yeah, in the sense of what we're going to eat. Yeah. And look at the way it comes through. It's the great way of the body. There's the triangle. And you notice actually there's a pattern there, there, and to there. And then we've got one there, one there, one there. And then we've got one there, one there, one there. And then if we look at Earth, we've got one there, one there, and one there. So it's like... Now look at where the characters are in relation to the position and what they do. What aspect of the creative notion is this? Is it the matrix? Is it the flower bed? Is it the potentiator, the seed? Is it the catalyst? Yeah, the catalyst, that which causes change. What could that be? Well, it could be emotion, couldn't it? It could be water. Water will come and feed the seed, which will change the experience of the seed. That sits in the matrix of mind. We'll become aware of a significator, which will cause a transformation in our belief, which reflects our being. There's your 7 densities. There's your days of the week. There's your everything in Revelation. There's the Father, Son and Holy Ghost. Okay. If we look at water, great way of mind. Okay. So that's the way of the mind. Water then comes back to the body, which is the sun. And we've got it here at Scorpio. Where am I? Air. Experience of the body. No, sorry. Water, transformation of the body. So we think and we transform the body, and that becomes then the experience of the spirit. You can see how these are linked. As I say, it's important that I don't put too many of my opinions in your mind. And I say that without great concern, because if you think that there's 22 base elements there in the sense of the major arcana cards that can just be put together in any combination of 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or all or none or anything you like, and you can just mash it all out. But so potentially there's like 300 and something octillion. That's 30 digits. And then when you just add the 4 elements in those places, and then that changes the notion of each one. When you think of that, polarity bias. And then we use those words which conjure up images and that notion of meaning, so we can apply reason, logic and reason, using our intellect. Yeah, and we can see, well, what was this? Water, was it emotion? Yeah, water was emotion and intuitive. The great way of the mind, emotional, intuitive. Well, we know that the emotion is a form of energy in motion. Water. Oh, wow. Yeah, that works. Intuitive. Well, that's the source, isn't it? Yeah? Okay. And then we got that transforming the body. Yeah? As you think you are, and then the experience of the spirit. So there's all these different aspects we can consider. Something else with regards to the densities and how we look at all these are just there, all right? And we think of the red energy, yeah, the sacral energy center on Monday. Tuesday, red, orange, yellow, intelligence. Interestingly enough, when we consider the yellow energy, this notion of yellow energy here, mentioned by Ra as well, this notion of yellow energy, and we think of chakras and we think of balancing energies, and I've said that they run through here, like red, orange, yellow, green, all the way through. I'll come back to these two in a second. But when we look at the, and you can I would suggest by getting access to lots of different books. You don't have to buy them. You can buy books for peanuts now using electronic devices, and you can just scan through the pages and see what words jump out to you. Just understand, you consider 3 and 1, and it's, you know, the SN from years ago. Know not that you are gods. You know, it's when we lie, when we lie in the dark in our bed, yeah, and we're free of distraction, sound, anything. If we're just lying there and we close our eyes and consider the removal of a limb, and then another limb, and then another limb, and each time we do that, we then remind ourselves that we've still got our awareness, and we picture ourselves without that, and then we can get to the point where we have no head. When we've got no head, we've got no body, but we've still got this. And if there was just a brain and it was sort of like a spinal column, the River of Jordan, I'll come back to that in a second, and then we've got no eyes and ears, but we've still got thought, we're still thinking. It's still electrical impulses that, you know, think of the way that they can put something beneath the skin to enhance the auditory experience, because the signals are passed in, bypassing elements of the auditory system, so that they're fed straight into the brain by 2 wires. You know, so it's all feasible. It's all just energy, isn't it? All waves. So it's all just positive or negative in every aspect of awareness that you meet every day. Whether it's a person who's got a particular bias based on their core being, based on their experiences, based on their journey that day, that week, that month, that year, that decade. Everything has brought them to this point, yeah? All is based on matrix and potentiators and catalysts, all built up over cycles and cycles and cycles and cycles. And it all affects the energy at each one, okay? And then when we get to this yellow one, as I was talking about the yellow energy, if you look in a chakra book, you'll see that the nerve plexus associated with yellow energy, which is what I call Wednesday here. Remember, this is the coming towards your head, your feet down here, and we're coming towards our head. Yeah, and the energy the nerve plexus that's associated with it, the solar plexus. If we look in the old text, this is the 300-year gap between the greater general awareness of the notions of what the body is and who we are, as were expressed by Yahweh ben Yosef, Jesus dude, JC, yeah, Jesus the Christ bloke, 2,000 years ago. And he was making everyone aware of that, wasn't he? And he was saying, you know, this is what you've got to do, this is what you've got to do. And then 300 years later, Constantine's like, well, no, I like living my life, and I don't want to have to go and get everything sorted. Can't we just pay our dues here and not worry about paying it when we snuff it, when we pass? Because what Jesus was sharing, this Joshua bloke, Yahweh ben Yosef, he was sharing the alchemical process of change that we can experience here. This notion of resurrection of self. And the solar plexus, every month, every lunar cycle within your solar house, your character house, yeah, it will release a white fluid. This is known, it's a physiological fact, which comes up the River of Jordan to the kingdom of heaven, and on the cross there you find that you've got the from the pineal gland. Yeah, remember Job from the Old Testament, I've seen the face of God, and his name is Peniel. So in the front here we mix the two, the milk and the honey, the yellow, smelly, fishy, smelly substance. Okay, and the two, think chemical reactions. We make chemical reactions now, and we know that they can generate heat, and heat causes change. You can hear change when you turn a grill on, and that element, that electricity passes in, you go, as the heat comes in and the temperature rises. So this is like vibrations going up and up and up. And you get this same and this transformation. And that's all going to depend on how balanced you are as to what success you get, in the sense of cycle after cycle after cycle, month after month after month, looking for the transformation, the resurrection of self. bear with, excuse me. So that's what it's all about. And I don't want to say huge amounts about that, as I said, because it's a very personal thing, what jumps out. Remember that now, as we close off the third density, people are going to die, pass, this seamless transition into another awareness, and are going to repeat the third density. The vast majority of people are going to repeat the third density. And some will continue on to fourth density. And that's going to be where you are in the sense of your awareness. And your awareness is based on the acceptance of and understanding of universal truth. And this is what I'm sharing. And in previous videos, just think everything. You go through your day and it's like, positive, negative. What am I faced with? How can I balance it? Yeah, I'm faced with positive. I balance it with a bit of negative. Oh, I can see that's better. I don't feel so uncomfortable now. Someone comes at me really negative. I can understand from where they are, and I can think of that. There, but for the grace of God go I. Everyone experiences elements of 10 archaic because they're all in our aspect when we're born, aren't we? Yeah, we have a particular bias for character and then minor influences. Okay, because everything is energy. Yes, so there we go. That's the solar plexus, and the solar plexus issuing River of Jordan, Kingdom of God, Mary. It was the Constantine, the Council of Nicaea, after 300 years of the early Christians that knew of the teachings of what effectively is the Old Testament saying the same thing. Even the old Chinese, Egyptian, Indian, all other documents you can think of, all allude and talk about and describe the same thing in different ways. I talked to someone, it's like the idea of using pictures to make things simple. And it's like, well, that's been done. That was done 2,000 years ago when it was all put together. And then they lied. They changed the dates, the astrological charts, by 2.5 days. We need to be aware of that when we look at when the moon is in your house and you do the fast. Could be a month, every month. We focus, we make considerations every month as we go through learning, balancing. When we get here, we get the world, which is completion. The world is completion. And here we've got the full. Yeah, the 22nd card, or zero, choice. Everything starts with 0. Yeah, birth, something new. So the choice of the fool is which way to go. How am I going to react to this? Positively or negatively? Yeah, can I be kind and gentle? Can I incorporate that notion of there but for the grace of God go I? Because everyone has to learn and find balance and understanding in all the archaic forms. Everyone has to appreciate the influences of character, understand the medium of the elements in transforming and transferring action. Yeah. Down here, that's that. It's I've uploaded stuff is on roydale.com on the first page, at the bottom, and on changetheworldnow.org. It's on the inspirations page. Yeah. This here, I've done tarot for a while, a long while. I've got a deck that's about 50 years or just over, and I enjoy pulling out a single card. I can pull out 3. I can do a traditional spread. And the cards, don't forget that I shuffle the cards. I look at them, I turn them over, I mix them, I shuffle as many times as I want. Woof, 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 woof. What card do I get? What question am I asking? And this is the thing. We can do, one card. If you're going to do a 1 card in the morning, personally, I would use my number. And everyone has a number And it doesn't matter if you've got the same number as everyone in the world, because you're shuffling the cards. It's your set of cards, imprinted with your feel on them, your energy. Yeah? Your bias, your will, desire, your yearning, everything that's coming through from you. So when you're shuffling your cards and you work out from 1 to 9 what card you're going to use, and we use the standard, just a straightforward reduction as in the Kabbalah. And so for example, so I'm 31, 7, 60. So we've got well, that's 10 and that's 10, so that's 20, 7, 2 and 7 is 9. Yeah, so that's the card that I would deal for me every day. That's my number. But what I've done is this. I wasn't happy. I wanted something that, because I feel this is extremely profound, and I feel very privileged to have received this and then share it. Yeah, it's honour and duty stuff at this time. This is time for you to do this, right? So, this being profound, I wanted a card spread that I felt comfortable with and that everyone could relate to, based on universal truth. And in my head, it's like I always get things like, you know, like what's above me, what's below me, what's in front of me, what's behind me. Isn't that right? And this is what I've come up with, this spread, very simple. The date of birth is your number here at the top. I'll show you something sweet after this as well. Date of birth, so that's my card. If that was a single one, just tell me about the day. Woof, how do I feel? What's going to happen? I just want a guiding principle for the day. It's, oh yeah, well there's negative and positive there. Take whatever you want, whatever you feel. Yeah? Loads of different books having different interpretations, but there are always going to be key biases with regards to all these elements in each description, whether it's a tarot card, a chakra consideration, you'll find these at the bottom, whether they're one of the minerals. I've also got things like, you know, affirmations. I think, I have, I am, I feel, I will, you know. I mean, when I was talking to someone the other day, it was very much the idea of, and when I talked the other day, I mentioned this notion about Antichrist and who is the Antichrist. You can imagine them sitting down. Oh yeah, what was that, John? You had a vision. What was it? Oh yeah, vision of the Antichrist. Who's that then? Oh yeah, it was just a beast, just a man. Yeah, but who? That's the thing. No, said John. But someone's got it in their head that it's a who, and that brings it to here, and then someone's looking to point fingers at. It's the same as God. When we think of God, we bring the notion of God to here. You know, it's that idea of a man or a woman or both. I mean, we even have arguments about the gender of God. I mean, give me a break. How silly are you? So, and I don't mean that, just a fact. How silly, all right? So, let's look at this. Date of birth, yeah? Because that's you. And then we've got the date today, because that's the focus. It's you today. So above and below. I'm planted here. And what's below, above me was when I chose to come, my date of birth. Yeah, that was the start. What's behind me is the sum of these two. Everything that's been learnt on this journey from date of birth till now. What's in front of me is the grand sum of those three as a catalyst in the present moment. So we've got the red and the black and the green and the blue. Okay, and if we also, something else which I like, when we think of this, we've also got, I'll do it over here, no, I'll do it here actually. When we think of tarot, so there we've got tarot, which is quite nice as we look at the compass points. Those on the podcast, I've laid the cards out on the compass points. Sorry, I forgot I was doing a podcast, and if it doesn't work out well, try and get hold of the YouTube thing. That's why I'm doing the two. This might be a primer. Don't forget that rereading, re-experiencing, it's amazing how often you become aware of the potential to miss truth. You know, you'll read something and it's because you're just not ready to receive it. You won't see it. You can read something 10 times and on the 11th time, something will jump out from what you're becoming aware of or re-experiencing, and it will hit you in a new way. And that is just that moment of new awareness. So, T-A-R-O-T, tarot. Obviously, if we go, that should go the other way. Is it clockwise or anti-clockwise? Maybe that should go the other way. But one way or the other, I can't remember if they read in Hebrew, if it's, which way does it go? I've got to, because I thought this was quite, I saw this and I thought that's nice. It is. And then if we look at the Old Hebrew, we've got law and also rota in the sense of the universe. So we've got the law, Old Hebrew, there. So that works for me, and I found that to be extremely accurate. So just don't forget, you just shuffle, pick the cards up, shuffle, and ask whatever you want. You know, get a handle on where you are today, what you might face. Get a handle on the end of the day. Whatever your intention is, you'll be delivered what you need, always, if you open yourself up. So I'm mindful of time, so I'm going to get off. I'll just read you a little bit of poetry, excuse me, because I like to read you the poetry. Poetry is like prayer. A lot of my poems are deeply, deeply spiritual, full of lots of hidden meaning. And so I'd like to just finish this session, long session, with a bit of Strawberry Angel and the Bean, a love story as old as time. Back cover. Welcome, welcome, one and all, tricks and truths for all to see. Turn the pages, have a ball. Whoops, a truth for you to see. Sorry, to set you free. Here a world of wonder waits, adventures in a simple game. Octaves all they're full of eights, things will never be the same. Words in rhyme, they paint the pictures, seen they are within the mind. And so for you begins adventure, feel your heart and soul inclined. Goblin, wizard, witchy witch will seek to find the lovers true. Can you drag yourself from ditch and see the truth? I challenge you. Will you take the gauntlet laid before you on your path of life to find the lover deep inside and balance on the edge of knife? Strawberry Angel and the Bean by Roy Thomas. Introduction. Welcome to a world of wonder. Welcome to a world of fun. Here I've conjured up for thee a story set in winter sun. A story where there's much to see if you would open up your eyes. And at the end it's there again, more reminder than surprise. To follow then a story of a seed, the bean and what he does. On with fairies, mind the witches, wands that spew forth plasma fuzz. See if you can find what Maurice Mole discovers there within. How to silence Glandway goblins, dogs that make an awful din. Strawberry Angel, darling fairy, calls to you that you may go upon a journey deep within to find the light and love you know. Sowing seeds with words in rhyme of love and light to fuel the fire deep within the hearts of lovers, growing always one desire. Merlin waits to take your hand to help you then discern your way, that you would always walk in light. So love will always fill your day. Perhaps there's nothing more to say except to wish you on your way and hope and pray that you will see the light that always shines in thee. There you go. Stay safe. I hope that's proved interesting. I might do some more on it if anything major that I feel needs to be shared, because otherwise the chats from now on are going to be just fairly straightforward and boring, you know, like how the universe was created, what God is, and just stuff you can think about, sharing poems. reflections on current events in the world. And in that way, I hope to provide an alternative opinion that you might be able to align with in the sense of universal truth and the outlook, in the sense of what you see in the mirror and what you see with regard to other self, so that you can progress with a goal, as I say, of doing a month and then starting a fast. You know, this has all got to be raw food. Starting a fast here with water only, and then culminating in that transformation, because your body, through all this balancing, and then every month following that cycle, you're getting there, you're getting there, you're getting there, and then bang, you're there. Go for the carbines. Love to you all, in the light and the love of the one infinite creator, Adonai.